Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, ringsidenews.com. Got more of your questions today. A lot of questions regarding SmackDown, so let's jump right into it. First one today comes from PeaceOut023. What Dean Ambrose did to John Cena on SmackDown like dirty deeds, was that a heel turn? Not necessarily. I'm not sure that was what WWE intended to have Dean Ambrose turn heel at the end of SmackDown this week. I think it was designed to establish the fact that it's every man for himself at the No Mercy pay-per-view, and Ambrose was getting payback from earlier when John Cena came out and was trying to get himself into the #1 contender spot, which Dean Ambrose rightfully has the right to be upset. Ambrose has the right to have a one-on-one rematch against AJ Styles. And at least they did acknowledge that by having Daniel Bryan come out and say that at a later date, Ambrose will get his one-on-one match. But still, Dean Ambrose should be getting that match right away, and John Cena's coming out and getting himself involved. So I understand the Ambrose character being upset. I sympathize with Ambrose, and also Cena making the Stone Cold podcast references. If I was Ambrose's character, I would be pissed off. So I understand it. But the thing that makes the whole situation interesting is that Ambrose was booed by the fans. Instead of the reaction you might expect from a person attacking John Cena, like a "thank you Ambrose" chant, instead we had the fans booing Ambrose. That could be a sign that the fans want to see an Ambrose heel turn, and WWE might look at that and say, hey, since this guy is not Roman Reigns, let's turn him heel. The fans want him to be a heel, and since he's not Reigns, we'll make him a heel. That very well could end up happening, and I think it would be good for Ambrose. I've said this many times over the past year. I think a heel turn would do him good. It would give the Ambrose character the chance to go into a darker place, and we could see a new side of the character that we haven't seen before. This one comes from the Great Turbonian. Is Dean Ambrose in the triple threat match at No Mercy for the lone reason to take the pin? It's quite possible. It's possible we could see Ambrose in the same role that he was at back at Fastlane. He's just there to take the pinfall. That very well could end up happening. I'm not expecting him to win the match. I think there is a possibility of Cena winning the title. Maybe Cena beats Ambrose. I mean, one way or another, I think Ambrose will take the fall just because I expect Cena and AJ to continue their feud. Maybe heading into Survivor Series, I could see that happening. I could see John Cena taking the fall, but yeah, Ambrose, I think if you had to make a bet, Ambrose being there to take the fall would be the most likely outcome. Whether Cena gets it or whether AJ wins the match and then Cena can get another rematch, that's what I would expect at this point. This one comes from Ziggler is Money. I guess he made that account back in 2012, I'm not sure. If AJ Styles does get a lengthy title run, who could he face at WrestleMania? I would really want to see Orton versus AJ. Stop wasting Orton too. That would definitely be an interesting match. Build up Randy Orton and have Orton challenge AJ. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities depending on the direction of the brand extension. I mean, who knows? Maybe Seth Rollins will end up on SmackDown before there's a draft. You could do AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins. That would be an awesome match. I'd love to see Styles versus Kevin Owens. Maybe, I mean, there's always a possibility through a storyline that one of the Raw guys could end up on SmackDown or vice versa. AJ could end up on Raw. But right now, just looking at strictly guys on SmackDown, yeah, I think Orton would be a great choice to face AJ Styles at WrestleMania. That match would no doubt tear the house down. Got this one here from I Am Mr. R. Does AJ's current heel, and he says in parentheses, best heel run including TNA, remind you a lot of Shawn Michaels in 97 minus DX, and who is your favorite heel? It doesn't really remind me of Shawn Michaels from '97 because Shawn Michaels was great at being a prick and getting the people to boo him. AJ's just not a great heel. I mean, he's really stepped up his game on the mic since coming to WWE, I will say that, but still, AJ doesn't really have enough intensity and the ability to get people to dislike him that Shawn Michaels did. Shawn could just say things and just his whole demeanor. Shawn Michaels was so good at coming off like a cocky prick, and maybe he was a little too good at it. Maybe it was a little bit too much like how he was in real life at the time, and AJ just doesn't have that in him to reflect that with his television character. So I wouldn't go that far. And as far as my favorite heel, I mean, Triple H was a great heel, and Roddy Piper during his peak was one of the best heels, and Hogan when he joined the NWO. AJ isn't quite there. He's a good heel, but I think it would be a stretch to call AJ a great heel. This one comes from Eli Garcia. Hey Aaron, AJ has insane momentum. How bad would it be if Cena returned and won the title? Is that why he won it in the first place? I mean, it could happen. Like I said earlier, maybe Cena will pin Dean Ambrose and then AJ will get the title back at Survivor Series. And quite frankly, that would be a good way. I mean, that would be the best way, really, to get the title on Cena without having AJ do a job and erase the work that was done when AJ beat John Cena at SummerSlam. AJ versus Cena, the final match at Survivor Series. I'm still not sure how I feel about that unless AJ's going over again, but will WWE really put over AJ yet again? I mean, I think we've gotten lucky that AJ got not one, but 2 wins over John Cena, with the second one being clean. So yeah, I'm not really sure what to make of the whole thing, but maybe AJ will win at the No Mercy pay-per-view, and that'll be the end of AJ and Cena. So I'm not really sure what to make of it at this point, but yeah, Cena beating AJ for the title, yeah, that might erase some of the momentum that AJ has built up, and some would argue that now is the time to really go with AJ as the guy on SmackDown. But yeah, I don't know really what to make of it at this point. Got this one here from Broken Ty Marshall. Would it be better if Cena feuded with The Miz for the IC Championship instead of having him main event at No Mercy? I know that a lot of people would like to see Cena not in the title picture. A lot of people would not like to see Cena beat Ric Flair's record or tie it. But Cena versus The Miz, it's just a repeat of what we saw with Cena versus Rusev. And I think it's a situation where, been there, done that. Cena already went for the mid-card title. He already elevated it. And I'm not really interested in seeing a repeat of that. I think what WWE's doing with the triple threat is perhaps the best way to go. And it doesn't really do Ambrose any favors, but you could have Cena or AJ beat Ambrose at the No Mercy pay-per-view and then have Ambrose snap and go full-fledged heel. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can work around it. It's not like WWE's booked themselves into a corner and they have no way out. There are things they can do to get around this, and we'll see where they go with that triple threat match. But yeah, I wouldn't have gone with Cena versus The Miz. This one comes from TJ Perkins. The segment on SmackDown Live with Randy Orton, do you think it would have been better for Luke Harper to viciously attack him instead? Yeah, I think it would have had more of an impact than Rowan interfering, but I mean, if Harper was cleared, I think that he would have been in that spot. But then again, maybe WWE has something else planned for Harper. I'm not really sure. But I think that if Harper comes back as the same character he was before, then he's best off being with Bray Wyatt for the time being and doing that split that I talked about. Have Luke Harper and Eric Rowan turn on Bray Wyatt and let Bray Wyatt finally get that babyface run. Do Wyatt versus Harper with Harper as the heel. Even let Harper form his own new version of the Wyatt family, the Harper family. Do something like that. Creatively, there are different things you could do with that. But that's what I would do. I would have Harper come back and turn on Bray. Yeah, I think that if Harper was ready to come back, then he would have definitely been a better fit than Rowan to attack Orton. Although with that segment, Orton ended up laying out Rowan anyways, so that wouldn't have done Harper any favors if that was the ultimate outcome. This one comes from Andrew. With Swagger making the switch, do you see more guys switching brands now? I think guys will switch brands when there's nothing left for them to do on whatever brand they're on. And in Swagger's case, he was going nowhere on Raw. Now, with that being said, I think it's only a matter of a few weeks until Swagger is doing nothing on SmackDown and his character quickly fizzles out again. But yeah, it does give guys a chance for a fresh start to switch brands. And it's not like you have to wait until the brand split or excuse me, the draft to change up the rosters. You can have one guy jump every now and then. I would avoid doing it every month or so, but every 2 or 3 months, I think it's fine to have one guy jump to another brand or even do an exchange and do storylines like that to keep things interesting. I'm totally fine with that. But I'm not expecting Swagger to really have any sort of long-term momentum now that he's on SmackDown. This one comes from Big Ryan. Hey Aaron, how long before Rhino gets tired of carrying all the weight and turns on Heath Slater? Could be very quickly. I mean, I'm not expecting Slater and Rhino to be long-term champions. I'm thinking that the Usos will win in the near future, and then it'll be the Usos versus American Alpha. I see that as being the long-term feud for the tag team titles. I think Slater and Rhino won, so Slater could get that feel-good moment and sign the contract and wrap up that storyline. So yeah, I would not be surprised at all if Rhino goes heel on Heath Slater. Would not shock me in the slightest. That'll do it for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks again for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please share it on Facebook and Twitter. Subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest. I will see you guys next time for more No DQ&A video.